Hi, hi, good morning. Sorry to be disturbing कि मेरे पीछे भी थोड़ा नॉइज आने के लिए सॉरी एंड आज हम पढ़ेंगे चैप्टर chapter 12. The scientist used the subconscious mind and उसका में how a famous naturalist solved his problem. Professor Agas, a distinguished American naturalist, discovered the indefatigable activities of his subconscious mind. Till his late, the following has been recorded by his widow in her biography of her famous husband. He had been for 2 weeks striving to decipher the somewhat obscure impression of a fossil fish on the stone slab in which it was preserved. Worry and fear flexed. He put his work aside at last and tried to diminish this mess. It formed his mind. Shortly after he waked up one night, persuaded that while asleep he had seen his face with all the missing features perfectly restored. But when he tried to hold and make fast, the image it escaped him, and nevertheless, he went early to the Jardine test planet, thinking that on looking a new adventure he should see something which would put him on the track of his vision. In vain, the flawed record was as black as ever. The next night he saw the fish again, but with no more satisfactory results. When he awoke, it disappeared from his memory as before, hoping that same experience might be repeated. On the third night, he placed a pencil and paper beside his bed before going to sleep. Accordingly, toward morning, the fish reappeared in his dream, confusedly at first, but at least with such distinctness that he had no longer any doubt as to its zoological characters. Still half dreaming in perfect darkness, he traced these characters on the sheet of paper at the bedside. In the morning, he was surprised to see in his nocturnal sketch features which he thought it impossible the fossil itself should reveal. He ascended to the Jardine test plantage and with his drawing as a guide succeeded in chiseling away the surface of the stone under which portion of the face proved to be hidden. When wholly exposed, it corresponded with his dream and his drawing, and he succeeded in clarifying it with case. Okay, an outstanding physician solved the problem of this diabetes. Okay. Some years ago, I received a clipping from a magazine describing the origin of discovery of insulin. This is the essence of the article as I recall it. About 40 years ago or more, Dr. Frederick and uh, Van Teen, a brilliant Canadian physician and surgeon, was concentrating his attention on his ravages of diabetes. At that time, medical science offered no effective method of arresting the disease. Dr. Bunting spent considerable time experimenting and studying the international literature on the subject. One night he was interested and fell asleep. While asleep, his subconscious mind instructed him to extract the residue from the degenerated pancreatic Duke of Dogs. This was the origin of insulin, which has helped millions of people. You will note that Dr. Banting had been consciously dwelling on the problem for some time, seeking a solution, a way out, and his conscience responded accordingly. It does not follow that you will always get an answer overnight. The answer may not come for some time. Do not be discouraged. Keep on turning the problems over every night to the subconscious mind prior to sleep, as if you had never done it before. One of the reasons for the delay may be that you look upon it as a major problem. You may believe it will take a long time to solve it. Your subconscious mind is timeless and not postulate, timeless and spaceless. Go to sleep, get slow, go to sleep, believing you have the answer now. Do not postulate the answer in the future. Have an abiding faith in the outcome. Become convinced now as you read this book that there is an answer and perfect solution for you. Okay, and how a famous scientist and physicist escaped from a Russian concentration camp. Okay, Dr. Lothar von Beng, a Skambit, a member of the Rocket Society and outstanding research electronic engineer, give the following condensed summary of how he used his subconscious mind to free himself from certain death at the hands of brutal guards in a Russian prison camp while mine. He stated as follows: I was a prisoner of war in a coal mine in Russia, and I saw men dying all around me in that prison. Confirmed. He were watched over by brutal guards, arrogant officers, and sharp, fast-drinking commissioners. After his short medical check-up, a quota of coal was assigned to each person. My quota was 300 pounds per day. In case any man did not fill his quota, his small food ration was cut down, and in a short time he was resting in the cemetery. I started concentrating on my escape. I knew that my subconscious mind would somehow find a way. My home in Germany was destroyed, my family wiped out, and all my friends and former societies were either killed in the war or were in the concentration camps. Okay? I said to my subconscious mind, I want to go to Los Angeles and you will find the way. I had seen pictures of Los Angeles and I remembered some of the blue boulevards very well, as well as some of the buildings. Every day and night I would imagine I was walking down Wilshire Boulevard with an American girl whom I met in Berlin prior to the war. She is now my wife. In my imagination, we would visit the stores, ride buses, and eat the restaurants every night. I made it a special point to drive my imaginary American automobile up and down the boulevards of Los Angeles. I made all this vivid and real. These pictures in my mind were as real and as natural to me as one of the streets outside of prison camp. Every morning, the chief guard would count the prisoners as they were lined up. We would call out 1, 2, 3 in sequence. I stepped aside. In the meantime, the guard was called away for a minute or so, and on his return, he started by mistake on the next man as number 17. When the crew returned in the evening, the number of men was the same, and I was not missed. And the discovery would take a long time. I walked out of the camp undetected and kept walking for 24 hours, resting in a deserted town in the next day. I was able to live by the fishing and killing some wildlife. I found coal trains going to Poland and traveled on them by night until finally I reached Poland. With the help of my help friends, I made to Lu- Lucerne, Switzerland. One evening at the Palace Hotel, Lucerne, I had a talk with a man and his wife from the United States of America. This man asked me if I would care to be guest at his home in Santa Monica, California. I accepted, and when I arrived in Los Angeles, I found that the Chauffeur drove me along Will Street Boulevard and many other boulevards which I had imagined so vividly. In a long months in the Russian coal mines, I recognized the buildings which I had seen in my mind so often. It actually seemed as if I had been in Los Angeles before I had reached my goal. I will never cease to marvel at the wonders of the subconscious mind. Truly, it has ways we know not of. Okay, and how archaeologists and paleno, palen, paleontologists reconstruct ancient scenes. These ancient scientists know that their subconscious mind has a memory of everything that has ever transpired. As they study the ancient ruins and forges through their imaginative perception, their subconscious mind aids them in reconstructing the ancient scenes. The dead past becomes alive and audible once more. Looking at these ancient temples and studying the pottery, sort of the tools and household utensils of these ancient times, the scientists tell us of an age when there was no language. Communication was done by the groans, and signs. The concentration and discipline, imagination of the scientist awaken the latent powers of his subconscious mind, enabling him to clothe the ancient temple with robes and surround them with gardens, pools, and fountains. The fossil remains are clothed with eyes, sinews, and muscles, and they again walk and talk. The first become the living present, and we find that in mind there is no time or space. Through discipline, control, and directed imagination, you can be a companion of the most scientific and inspired thinker of all time. And how to receive a guidance from your subconscious. Okay, when you have what you turn a difficult decision to make, or when you fail to see the solution to your problem, begin at once to think constructively about it. And if you are fearful and worried, you are not really thinking. True thinking is free from fear. Here is a simple technique you can use to receive guidance on any subject. Quiet the mind and still the body. Tell the body to relax. It has no obey you. It has no violation, initiative, or self-conscious intelligence. Your body is an emotional disk which records your beliefs and impressions. Mobilize your attention, focus your thought on the solution to your problem. Try to solve it with your conscious mind. Think how happy you would be about the perfect solution. Sense the feeling you would have if the perfect answer were yours now. Let your mind play with these more in a relaxed way, then drop off to sleep. When you awaken and you do not have the answer, get busy about something else. Probably when you are preoccupied with something else, the answer will come into your mind like toast pops out of the toaster. In receiving guidance from the subconscious mind, the simple way is the best. This is an illustration. I once lost a valuable ring which was an heirloom. I looked everywhere for it and could not locate it. At night I talk to the subconscious in the same manner that I would talk to anyone. I say to it prior to dropping off to sleep, you know all things, you know where the ring is, and you know, rebel to me where it is. In the morning I wake suddenly with the watch ringing in my ear. Ask Rebot. I thought it is very strange that I should ask Rebot. A young boy about 9 years of age, however, I followed the inner voice of intuition. Robert said, "Oh yes, I picked it off in the yard while I was playing with the boys. I placed it in the desk in my room. I did not think it worth anything, so I did not say anything about it. The subconscious mind will always answer you if you trust it." His subconscious revealed the location of his father's will. A young man who attends my lectures had this experience. His father died and apparently left no will. However, this man's sister told him that his father had confided to her that a will had been executed which was fair to all. Every attempt to locate the will failed. Prior to sleep, he talked to his deeper mind as follows. I now turn this request over to the subconscious mind. It knows just where that will is and reveals it to me. Then he condensed his request down to one word, answer, repeating it over and over again as a lullaby. He lulled himself to sleep within the word answer. The next morning, this young man had an overpowering hunch to go to a certain bank in Los Angeles, where he found a safe deposit box registered in the name of his father, the content of which solved all his problems. Your thought as you go to sleep arouses the powerful latency which is within you. For example, let us suppose you are wondering whether to sell your home by a certain stock, saver partner, move to New York or stay in Los Angeles, dissolve the present contract or take a new one. Do this. Sit quietly in your armchair at the desk in your office. Remember that there is a universal law of action and reaction. Sit quietly in your armchair at the desk of your office. Remember that there is a universal law of action and reaction. The action is your thought, the action is your thought, the reaction is the response from your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is reactive and reflexive. This is its nature. It rebounds, rewards, and repays. It is the law of correspondence. It responds by the corresponding as you contemplate right action. You will automatically experience a reaction or response in yourself. This represents the guidance or answer to subconscious mind. In seeking guidance, you simply think quietly about right action, which means that you are using the infinite intelligence resident in the subconscious mind to the point where it begins to use you. From there on, your course of action is directed and controlled by the subjective wisdom, and within you, which is all wise and omnipotent, your decision will be right. There will only be right action because you are under a subjective compulsion to do the right thing. I use the word compulsion because the law of subconscious is compulsion. The secret of guidance. The secret of guidance or right action is to mentally devote yourself to the right answer until you find its response in you. The response is a feeling, an inner awareness, an overpowering hunch whereby you know that you know. You have used the power to the point where it begins to use you. You cannot possibly fail or make one false process with operating under the subjective wisdom within you. You will find that all your ways are pleasantness and all your paths are peace. Highlights to recall. Okay. And I'm going to be recall highlights. Past, remember that subconscious mind has determined the success and wonderful achievements of all great scientists workers. By giving your conscious attention or devotion to the solution of a perplexing problem, your subconscious mind gathers all the necessary information and presents it full blown to the conscious mind. If you are wondering about the answer to the problem, try to solve it objectively. Get all the information you can from research and also from others. If no answer comes, turn it over your subconscious mind prior to sleep. An answer always comes. It never fails. You do not always get the answer overnight. Keep on turning your request over to your subconscious until the day breaks and the shadows the play will. You delay the answer by thinking it will take a long time or that it is a major problem. Your subconscious has a problem, it knows only the answer. Believe that you have the answer now. Feel the joy of the answer and the way you would feel if you had the perfect answer. Your subconscious will respond to your feeling. Any mental picture backed by faith and perseverance will come to pass through the miracle working power of your subconscious. Trust it, believe in its power, and wonders will happen as you pray. Your subconscious is the storehouse of memory, and within your subconscious are recorded all your experience since childhood. Scientists meditating on ancient scrolls, temples, fossils, etc., are able to reconstruct scenes of the past and make them alive today. The subconscious mind comes to the way. Turn over your request for a solution to your subconscious prior to sleep. Trust it and believe in it, and the answer will come. And it knows all and sees all about, but you must not doubt or question in its power. The action is your thought, and the reaction is the response of your subconscious mind. If your thoughts are wise, your actions and decisions will be wise. Guidance comes as a feeling, an inner awareness, an overpowering hunch whereby you know it is an inner sense of tones. Follow it. And next we are talking about the chapter 13. In chapter 13 we want to see your subconscious and the wonders of sleep. इसके बारे में we were discussing, and thank you for being listen.